In today's trading session, I was able to take 3 total trades and make $15,000 in profit. I followed good risk management. I was able to identify really good key areas. So I'm just going to walk you through sort of my mindset trade by trade, what I'm looking for. Obviously can't get into all of the complete details on a public YouTube channel, but I am going to share a lot of what I thought and sort of my decision making as I was going. So what I have set up on my chart here, we're on a 1-minute time frame. I'm trading Solana here. What I'm initially doing is looking for our master trend overall. So I'm noticing that we have, obviously this level is a level that I want to watch. We've contacted it twice, but we're a little early to that. Something that I'm looking for is a break of a level and either a retest on the opposite side or a sweep and then a reversal in price action to move up. And that's kind of what ended up happening for the day. So it looked like the market was potentially going to sell off a bit. We got that sweep underneath that low, and then we got a whiplash reversal, and that produced a pretty juicy fair value gap candle. So for me, even though we didn't break out of this trend level, I was looking for a potential early entry. I have my indicator here, which is a diamond indicator that has a few other things behind the scenes, so I don't have to share it fully on YouTube because we data test everything. But effectively, a lot of the stuff will work without that stuff too. I'm just saying my confluences, but this diamond indicator indicated a fair value gap in a good period of time. But either way, we have our buy side inefficiency. So I was just looking to take a quick entry into here, play my stop loss a little bit wider underneath this low. So I took a little bit more risk on the table than I may have wanted to, just because of this whiplash price action. Also because there was speculation 85% that the Fed would drop rates. So it looked like it could have been a bullish day. We failed off the previous day low. So this is where I entered the first trade. You can see price came down nicely, got some response off of that gap, and then eventually we did break over that level, and you'll see this is where we got a massive breakout of that trend level and a push all the way up. So all I was doing at this point was targeting. I ended up moving my stop loss and adding to this position to kind of make this my new stop loss. So I ended up taking a little bit more size on this, so I was able to lock in $7,200. Okay, and this is the recording of me actually taking this trade. So you'll see price broke over this high level. I started reducing my stop loss inward, and then you could see I was taking profit up along the way, and then finally closed out my final quantity up into this push. So at this point, what I was looking at was the fact that we had contact here, contact here, contact here, something that we saw early in the session before we even got a move in general. So this is the trade that I was kind of looking for anyways. I just so happened to take this one as sort of a risk on play out of the morning, but I knew that price would probably come back, retest this trend level here, as well as retest support, turn resistance that had a massive fair value gap push with this area here. So I'm targeting the midpoint of it, stop loss underneath this retest level. This is an A+ setup for me, in addition to having my other confluences, other indicators that I can't talk about lining up. Okay, so you can see I had my entry set there. We tapped into that level beautifully. Anytime price is coming over that neckline and creating a new break of structure, considering I'm trying to effectively trade a trend which would require higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then a break of structure. If it breaks and closes below this level, that's going to terminate this trend, and I want to trend follow. So basically that's where I am reducing my stop loss to break even, in which case it was at this low. So I took the risk off the table, let this sort of play out, and you can see price pushed up into my take profit zone. I was just targeting like a 1 to 10, which is ridiculous. So I was able to rack in $8,700 on this trade with taking partials off to make sure I was securing profits along the way. And then the market just continued to run. I mean, like, had I have just played even into previous day high, which is something that I do normally target, that would have been a much different story. But even targeting to this push here, we're talking about 24R. That's $24,000, risking $1,000. Seeing where this ended up going, almost nauseating. I did have a more macro view, like 32R. $32,000 risking $1,000. I mean, on the day, not bad so far. So at that point, I was up 16,000-ish. And then what I was doing is effectively waiting for my longer term resistance level to potentially hit. So I drew off of this low and then this low, and you can see price did come and get a temporary resistance here, and we got a change in state of delivery with a fair value gap left behind. Took a short position here after this push down, retest, tested off of that level again, went to break even, and then just pushed up against me and continued trending against me. So if I could catch a cheeky move off of the underside of this and trade it all the way back down for the session, I mean, that would have been the icing on top. So the fact that that didn't happen is fine, but it would have been super epic. And then just for proof on this trade, you can see my entry filled there. You can see that neckline breaks. I reduced my risk. All right, once I'm up 7,300 on this move, you can see I have this trend level. I have 2 of these trend levels that I'm watching. That's sort of like the Hail Mary play. But once I'm up 7,300, this is where I take some profit off the table. I lock in 750, reduce my position size, and then just allow this to push up, get back up to about 7,000 in profit, and then I just take off the rest of the position. So like I said, $8,700 for that trade, and then the 1,035 loss here. So 66% win rate, 15,000 on the day, 15.5 risk factors. I almost completely slammed out my Zella score, and really good overall session. My goal is to hopefully size up soon. So I'm kind of just documenting what I'm thinking here and kind of going through my mindset. I would love to be able to size up. I don't know if I'll trade on the 1 minute still, just to be able to have a little bit more size. I think I'm kind of growing to capacity here with this one. So this is how I'm basically approaching a lot of the moves in the market. If you want to trade alongside us, learn all of this in way more detail, you can check out the links in the description. Subscribe if you want this raw content of me basically just going over what I'm doing and journaling my process with you guys. I'm not going to really edit this like crazy. I don't care. Let me know in the comments if you're watching at this point. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.